In today's bass lesson, I'm going to take you through 5 Bob Marley reggae bass lessons. If you're in the early phases of learning reggae bass, make sure you check this lesson out. Hey, it's James here from eBassGuitar, and whenever I'm learning a new song or new groove, I'm always looking to break it down into its simplest components to make it really easy to learn. So today I've done that for you with 5 Bob Marley bass lines, which I'm going to show you in just a second. But first off, I would love to know, what is your favorite reggae bass line? Please let me know in the comments below. But first of all, before we hit the lesson content, I want you to know this completely free PDF, which will show you all of the bass lines we're discussing today, written out in standard notation and tab. There's a link in the description below where you can grab your free copy. So Bob Marley bass line number 1 is This Love? And this features the incredible Aston Barrett from the Wailers on the bass, and this is what the groove sounds like. So I've broken This Love down into a simple 4-bar groove, which you'll hear played in the verse. The first 2 bars are based on an F sharp minor chord, and here's the bass line. So let's take those notes apart. So it starts off in an F sharp minor, or an F sharp rather, and then we hit the 5th, which is the C sharp there, and then we hit the flattened 7th, which is an E natural, and then we hit the F sharp there. So this is classic box shape stuff. And here's the rhythm, 3, 4, boom. And the crucial thing is that 3rd note, E natural, lands directly on the 3rd beat. So 3, 4, boom, like so. Now the 2nd bar is just the same, but the critical change is they miss out the 1st note. So there's nothing played on the 1st beat of the bar. So it sounds like this. So that's simply all there is to the first 2 bars. Now to move on into the 3rd bar, this goes like this. And this is over more of a D major sounding chord. So the first 2 beats are this, which is simply a D at the 5th fret. And then directly on the 3rd beat of the bar, we hit an F sharp. And then on the 4th beat of the bar, we hit an A like that at the 5th fret on the A string like this. So this is the phrase. Just play that round and round. Like that to really get it under your hands. And then the last bar of this is the notes of A and then G sharp like that. But what they are doing is they're doing a thing called broad triplets. And this is where we play 3 notes in the space of 2, and we could call these triplet quarter notes too. But the critical thing is with the first one, they miss it out. So we end up with this 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 like that. But the first one is missed out. So we just end up with this 1 on the A note. So they're 2 A's. And then we play these broad triplets or triplet quarter notes, 3 of those starting on the 3rd beat of the bar on the G sharp. So we end up with this 1. And try and get those as fat and as laid back as possible. And then that takes us back into the F sharp. And that gives us the whole of the 4-bar groove. If you learn this one bass line, you'll have about 95% of this tune down right away. So let's hear what this sounds like with the drum track. And then once we've learnt that 4 bars, I'll start to jam and break out a little bit after that. Reggae bass line number 2 is One Love. This is what it sounds like. So if you listen to the original of One Love, Aston Barrett plays a ton of variations and is constantly improvising. But I've broken this down into one 4-bar groove in the key of B flat. But there's a core rhythmic phrase that I want you to get down first of all, which sounds like this: 3, 4. And again. And it's this wonderfully shuffly 16th note groove. And this is just a simple B flat to begin with. And this is the first bar: 3, 4. Ba-da-ba-da, rest, ba-da-ba-dam. So get that down to begin with. Then we'll move on into the second bar. Now the second bar is that same rhythm again, but it hits the second and fourth beat and changes the note. So let me play the phrase. So that's 2 16th notes C, like da-ba, and then to the E flat, and then to the F, like that. So we end up with this phrase, bum. So just play that round and round again. So the first 2 bars sound like this: 3, 4. Ba-da-ba-dam, ba-da-ba-dam. Okay, then we go into the third bar, which sounds like this. Like that. So it's that phrase again, do-do-da, like, which is 2 B flats and a D. Open D like that, the E flat, the first fret, C, and then back to the B flat. Like that, slow it down. And then the last part of the bar is this phrase here, which is 2 open Ds, and then the E flat and the F landing on the first beat of the bar. So let's play that third bar again. And again. Like that. And then let's just talk about that fourth bar, which is simply this, which is 2 Fs, 2 Cs, and then 2 B flats. So as I said originally, you can really start to improvise on it once you know this chord pattern. So let's play it with the drum groove, and then I can break out a little bit so you can hear what that sounds like. So guys, if you're enjoying this lesson, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, because we release a lesson like this every single week, designed especially for the beginner to intermediate bass guitar player. Make sure you hit the red button, which is somewhere around this video, and you'll be the first to know when it goes live. So the next tune we're going to look at is the legendary Jammin'. This is what it sounds like. So Jammin' is based on a 4-bar chord sequence, and the great thing is it only uses root notes. But the critical thing is our rhythm needs to be really accurate. So first of all, let's learn the chord sequence behind this. So this starts off with a bar of B minor, and then it goes to a bar of E, and then it goes to a bar of G, and then it goes to a bar of F sharp minor, like that. And those are our 4 root notes. So just get those under your hand to begin with. And then what we want to do is fit the rhythm to it. So this has a 2-bar rhythm, which is repeated twice within the 4-bar chord sequence. So this is the first 2 bars. Like so. And again. So let's take that apart. So it starts off with 2 quarter notes, which are nice and short. And then it has this phrase here. And play that again. Ba ba da ba. So a nice shuffly reggae pattern there. So let's play the first bar. Then we go and change chord to the E, and we play 2 offbeat E's, which is like this. Like so. And then we play this phrase on the 3rd beat of the bar. So remember, it's got that da ba da again. So this is what the 2nd bar sounds like. So to put the first two bars together, like so. So once you've got that rhythm down, all we need to do is apply it to the third and fourth bar. And so we end up with this phrase. And again. Then put all four bars together, we end up with this. So let's put it with the drum track so you can hear what this sounds like. Bassline number 4 is Could You Be Loved, and it sounds like this. So I've broken Could You Be Loved down into a 4-bar groove, which is essentially 2 bars of B minor, and then it goes to 2 bars of F sharp minor, like this. But in the first 2 bars, we have this wonderful counter melody which is played, which sounds like this, which I think is a really important part of the song. So let's take that apart. So it starts on the minor third, which is the D, and then it plays an E and an F sharp, and then on beat 2 and lands back on that B minor. So we end up with this phrase, like so. And then just at the end of the bar, on the last 16th notes, we snatch another B like that, and then we go back into that phrase again, so like so. So that's the first 2 bars. And then we just have this single phrase in the third and fourth bar, which sounds like this. So 3, 4. So it's these little groupings of 3 notes. And the first one is placed just before the beat. So we end up with this. Ba-da-da, ba-da-da. The second one is actually the one which is on the beat. So we end up with this phrase. 3, 4. So that is the last 2 bars of the phrase. Let's put it all together. So let's have a jam with this over the drum track. So the last bass line we're going to look at is the verse to I Shot the Sheriff, which sounds like this. So the first section of I Shot the Sheriff is based on a 2-bar chord sequence, which is 2 beats of E flat major, 2 beats of D7, and then a bar of G minor, like so. But the reason that I've chosen to concentrate on these 2 bars is because Aston Barrett puts in a really, really interesting bass line. So the first bar, it sounds like this. And that's what you'd expect the bass line to do, but what Aston Barrett chooses to play is this, which is 2 E flats, and then he plays the D, and then a D flat after that. So you end up with this phrase. Listen to it carefully because it's in there. Then just at the end of the bar, he plays this phrase to take us to the C minor chord, which is 2 16th notes of a G, a B flat, and then a C on the first note of the next bar. So this is the first bar. Like so. So that's the first bar taken care of. Now the rest of the second bar is this phrase. So we have that first beat on the C, and then we drop down to 6 16th notes on the 5th or the G below. So we end up like that. And then to end it off, we have 2 8th notes of a C and then to the G. So this is really a kind of root and 5th bass line. So let's put the whole thing together. We end up with this. And again. So let's play it with the drum track, and then I'll have a little bit of a jam over it too. So guys, that's the end of today's bass guitar lesson. If you've enjoyed this lesson, make sure you download the free PDF so you can see all of the bass lines that we covered today written out in standard notation and tab. Also, I've got 2 more lessons I'd love you to check out. The first one is more Bob Marley. So this is called Reggae Bass for Beginners, where we take apart the legendary tune 3 Little Birds. And the second one, if you enjoyed I Shot the Sheriff, I take apart the full Eric Clapton version of that. The links for both videos in the description below. Cheers, I've been James from eBassGuitar.com, and I'll catch you for next week's lesson. Cheers, bye bye.